across the globe, Ben Norris, Rob McKnight, and David Robinson.
Ben, Rob, and Robbo. News, reviews, entertainment. It's the Ben, Rob, and Robbo. Ben, Rob, and Robbo Show. Ben, Rob, and Robbo Show.
Welcome to the Ben, Rob, and Robbo Show. Here's Rob McKnight.
Hello there. You think after 3 weeks we'd know how to turn the mics on. Hello and welcome to Eye on Big Brother, a production of the Ben, Rob and Robbo Show. I'm Rob McKnight, and as usual, I'm joined by former Big Brother winner Ben Norris, and he also with me is journalist David Robinson. Hello, boys.
I love that
Rob.
he gets to be a journalist. Well, I'm just still a winner of Big Brother. I'm not a journalist at all.
Hey, Robbo, not only are we doing the podcast, but we are streaming Eye on Big Brother as a live vodcast now. How cool is this?
It's very cool, Rob, because there's going to be so much information coming out of Big Brother. We've already seen a couple of exclusives come on the Ben, Rob and Robbo Show. There's surely to be many more that we're going to unearth. This is why it needs to be a vodcast. This is why we're live tonight. There is so much to talk about, and there will be so much to talk about in the future.
So in the lead up to the actual launch of Big Brother, every Thursday night at 8 o'clock, we are going to go live. So that's pretty much 2 more weeks. And then we will be doing a show straight after Big Brother airs. Whether that we do it straight after the show finishes or maybe at 9 o'clock, we're just waiting to see what the actual start and finish times of Big Brother are, but we will keep you updated. Ben, we thought it would be interesting to give Big Brother fans a chance to take part in the conversation tonight. All they have to do is use the BRR Show hashtag on Twitter or comment on the Ben, Rob and Robbo Facebook page. What is the strangest question you've ever been asked?
Oh, the strangest question? Oh, probably things to do with masturbating in the Big Brother house. Like, I'm always
really?
like, why would you want to... Yeah, people always want to know the really gross stuff, but, that is weird. But also they want to know, like, were the cameras really in the toilets and did they actually ever capture anything? And I just want to quickly say the cameras were always positioned in a particular way, so they never actually could film you doing your business. This podcast's off to a good start. What do you reckon? I'm talking about masturbation and toilets.
It's funny. I did hear that there was one contestant who would go into the toilet to masturbate and just didn't care that the cameras were totally capturing him.
Well, look, there's always going to be nudists, and good on that person for doing so. But I think, it's a little bit of a nervous situation at the best of times. So I didn't do that disgustingness, no.
Okay. Well, this is the part of the show where I'm supposed to introduce Reggie. She's the winner of season 3, of course. Reggie's computer wasn't working. She is literally in a cab on her way to my house at the moment, so she will turn up any moment. But until Reggie arrives, we do have 2 very special guests joining us. Trevor and Bree went head-to-head in the Series 4 finale, and they're both reuniting here tonight, right here on Eye on Big Brother. Hey, Bree, thanks for joining us with a new series of Big Brother launching. How does it feel to be talking about the show again?
I mean,
we don't have
I've missed
audio.
a lot of it because... Oh, can you hear me?
Yes, we do. We can.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Oh, I missed a lot of it because I'm kind of at home with a baby these days. But I've just been kind of looking at all the promos and trying to catch up to what everyone knows about it so far. And it's exciting.
Well, Trevor, you're back. We had so much fun with you last time on the show. We just had to get you back on. And you're certainly filling the void while we wait for that empty chair over there next to Robbo to be filled.
We can talk to the lamp if you want. It's a nice lamp.
Trevor, you don't mind talking about Big Brother, do you? It was a good part of your life.
Yeah, it was interesting, mate. It was good fun, and we're in there with a good group of people. So, yeah, I had a good experience out of it.
Well, and you were also the only $1 million winner of the show.
Yeah, that too.
Rub it in.
I was about to say, Bree, that's got to sting just a little bit.
I like that.
16 years later, and I'm still annoyed. No, not at all.
Now, Bree,
Bree,
Bree.
I was just going to ask you a question really briefly. When I rewatched the finale in 2000, the 2004 finale, I rewatched it last night. I have two questions for you. I got the impression that you didn't think you were going to win and that you were like expecting Trevor to win. Is that true?
Yes, it is true, actually. I didn't for 1 second think that I was in with a chance. And it's interesting that that you saw that, because I remember someone printed in a paper the next day that I looked really disappointed and jaded, and I was like, really? Because I really didn't think I had a chance. Because I had been evicted a few weeks before, I knew how popular Trevor was. I just assumed.
Well, my other question for you, which is that rewatching it last night, there was a really awkward moment where Gretel came into the house and you and Trevor kind of looked like you were like, no big deal. Like most of the time in the other series, Gretel would walk in and everyone would be like, Gretel, Colleen, oh my God. Where you two were like, come and join us on the couch. And she started sort of going through these prizes. And you both genuinely looked like you didn't care. You were both like, a what? A DVD? Like, get on with the show. Like,
I've still got that DVD, thank you.
You do not.
Look, I have a lot of admiration for Gretel, but I guess that in true Trev and Bree style, we were probably caught up in the evening and dying to get out to see our friends and family.
Yeah.
Red alert. I've just heard a knock at the door. I do believe
I'll go get it.
Reggie might. Now, Trevor, if you could do that, that would be absolutely brilliant if you could do that. I do believe
the
Reggie
Mormons,
has
don't worry about
arrived. We are just waiting for her to take her seat. My daughter, Jasmine, is escorting her into the house. Jasmine's 13 years old. I gave her the,
here we
Reggie, you're live on the show. Hang on,
Thanks for having us, guys. See you later. Bye.
Jeez, what a mission.
I believe
No need to get undressed.
I believe people are drinking at home every time she swears.
Do you reckon your daughter would get me a drink? Have you got any beer in your fridge? Or?
Hang on. Okay, so next we've got to do a wine alert. Hang on. All right. Do you want wine, beer? What do you want, Reggie?
Scotch.
I got bourbon.
Oh, no, I don't like dirty old bourbon. No, is it you? Is it your?
She's a classy
fridge?
girl.
Is there beer in there?
No, hang on, Reggie. Ben, can you ask some more questions? I'll come out to Reggie.
Yeah.
Oh my God, this is loose.
I just
This
always
is so
feel like it's
good.
really funny. So I'm just going to be really embarrassing here. And I was bragging to a friend of mine today that you guys were joining the podcast. And my best friend said to me, he said, I have to take this earplug out because I can't hear. My best friend said to me, oh my God, that's so exciting that Bree's going to be on the show. She is my favorite Big Brother housemate of all time, and that includes you, which means that you beat Bree.
Hello.
With my friend.
Just on the other screen.
Who is this great friend?
Yeah, his name's
I need to meet
Ed
them.
Pitts. We'll give him a shout out for that. Yeah, no, he seriously
His
said
husband.
in all no, it's not. My partner's name is Ben. I'm obsessed with myself, so it's a hard name for me to forget. Anyway, can I ask you just really
Hi, Ed.
quickly though, Bree, how long did it stop for people to stop asking you whether or not you were in love with Fitzy? Because there was this romance that was sort of created, I think, by the editors. How long did that go on for?
Look, a very long time. I'll still occasionally get it now. Just people asking if there was anything to it. But look, I would say it took a good 10 years to settle down. I think we broke the hearts of the country by not being interested in each other.
Can I just say, I was just Googling through some photos and everything, and I started to wonder whether you and Mike Goldman ever had anything going on. There's a lot of photos, and I know you hosted Friday night games together. But geez, there's a lot of nice, intimate photos of you two.
Intimate? No, just a very good friend. Just a very good friendship.
Well, it's just that after what we heard from Mike Goldman last week, he was known to play around a bit.
Should have heard what he said about
Just
you.
a bit. Just a bit. I can't believe that he owned up to that.
You will not believe what we heard last week. So, can I ask you, Brie, the experience of doing Big Brother, what is it like?
Gosh, look, for me, I was 21, I was single, childless, I think at the time I didn't even really have a very serious job. So it was like going into this amazing experience that was half holiday, but it was also kind of like being back at school and being called to the principal's office all the time. And I just feel like having no responsibilities, like not even having to go and buy your own toilet paper, if you can get it, or anything like that, is just a once in a lifetime thing. Like just absolutely no responsibilities whatsoever. So it was kind of like a big party, hanging out with my best friends. Other than my close family, there was no one that I was particularly missing on the outside. So I just made the most of it, and I enjoyed the social experiment side of it, which is what kind of drew me to apply in the first place, just to see how I would handle it. And if I'd be hated or or adored, who knows, somewhere in the middle. So look, it was just great. I have nothing bad to say about it. I think it was, for that time in my life, it was fantastic.
This is not a negative question to ask you at all, but, with Big Brother changing so much to what it is now, when it's now coming back, it is known that the producers are in the house, shooting footage and interacting with the housemates, getting the show
I didn't know that.
filmed. Yeah, no, the producers are in there. Like, they actually had to be really careful with housemates to be like, make sure that they weren't reading their notes or listening to information that they were saying. So you could see these producers the whole time. Knowing that piece of information, would Big Brother be as interesting to you to go and do that kind of an experience, seeing as it has changed so much?
Well, I mean, if that was your only experience, then I feel like that would be okay. It would definitely be different. But I mean, it's not like, I was not one of those people. I just don't believe what people say when they say, I went in there and I forgot that it was a show and I forgot that there were cameras. And, you're standing there and all of a sudden like a lens hits the mirror. Or, I was watching a cameraman eat an apple behind the mirror one day, and like, I'm like, is that good? And the thumbs go up behind the mirror. He's like, yeah, it's awesome. And, like in what real world do you get called to the diary room every minute? Remember, Trevor, when that cameraman had a cough and we left a throaty out on the thing for him because he was coughing all night. So I don't think that, for me, I never forgot where I was. So maybe it would be okay if that was all you'd ever experienced. I don't know.
It's interesting you say that you never forgot where you were, because there was a contestant early on, the one that always wore her shirt off the shoulder, and Gemma, yes. And I remember, because I was watching the feeds of Big Brother. That's when they did live feeds, and the digital team made a big deal of the fact, because she walked into the bathroom and she'd always been covering up, and she walked into the bathroom and took everything off, and because she lost that moment, she completely forgot that she was in the Big Brother house, and within a moment she realised again. But you go into the bathroom, your habit is you take your clothes off, and she was totally out. And it was interesting.
I mean, I guess there were fleeting moments of that, but not like totally lost in the experience and like, I think moments is more accurate, but just not, I wasn't in there for 3.5 months forgetting where I was.
Yeah, sure. And it's interesting having Brie and Trevor on the show tonight, because it's interesting having that dynamic of the both of you being in that moment where you don't know who's going to win, and you're both sitting with each other. What is running through your mind? Trevor, I'll start with you and then come to Brie. But Trevor, what's running through your mind when you are sitting there next to someone else who could take out that $1 million? And are you at that point where you're like, whatever happens, happens now, or I really want the money, I really want to win? What's racing through your mind, if you can even remember?
No, it was whatever happens, happens. That's the only thing that was going through my mind. I was just thinking that if Brie won, just congratulate her and just be a humble loser, and then just go out. Because I think, going back to what Ben said, when Gretel came in, we were just so in the moment. Someone else and they're like, oh, it's great, all cool. We're almost out. We're looking at our watches. Come on, Gretel, let's get this over and done with. So I think, looking back, I think I was more excited about getting out and seeing Brie again and just catching up with family and friends. Because when I came out, it was just amazing.
And Brie, what about you? Wasn't there an interview where you said you were going to slap Trevor if he won? No, I'm joking. You didn't say that.
In a nice way.
I think Trev was actually sitting there spending the dollars in his head. He was like,
I could get new hair extensions. I could get another 10.
I don't know. I think for me, I was probably picturing showering without clothes on and actually seeing friends and family and going to an after party. And, you know, I wasn't having to remind myself to not be a sore loser, Trevor.
I didn't mean like that. I mean in my case, just be humble and
Did either Can I ask, because you were in the 4th series of Big Brother, so I just would like to know between the two of you, did either of you have a favourite housemate that had maybe influenced you? You know, Reggie had been in the series the year before you, and she was just such an iconic player. You know, was there people that influenced you or sort of made you be a little bit different, or were you just authentically being yourself?
You go, Trev.
Me or Brie? Oh no, I was just sitting there just to have the experience. I wrote a to-do list out in 2001, and it was to get Big Brother in 2003, and I made it into Reggie's year. I was on the standby list, and then I went, I'll have another go and try and get on 2004, and then got on there. But I remember Reggie from hers and Chrissy, and Marty and Jess and Nathan. Nathan was a big fan. I was a big fan of Nathan's back watching that. He was awesome. And I thought I could do that.
You
I
say
could be
that you
myself.
applied multiple times, Trevor, because that does seem to be a common factor here. Ben, you applied it several times, didn't you?
He applied for all of them.
Sort of like Eagle. He applied for like 5.
Well, I applied, you know, I think it was for 5 series as well. So can I just say that the first series I applied for was 2000. Well, the first one I applied for was in 2002, which was the second series. And I made it all the way to the end where I shot my bio video for that. And then I didn't get picked. I was so annoyed that I didn't get picked in 2002 that I then didn't reapply again until 2005. And that was because my 2 favorite housemates that had just come out of the last one. I mean, I probably have said people are my favorites before. I love Reggie.
I think just about everyone's your favourite, mate.
I just absolutely loved Brie and Paul out of that series. And I just thought the two of you were such iconic players. Trevor, you're a bloody legend. I understand that. But, you know, everyone connects to different people. But I just remember thinking, Brie, there was so much genuine, authentic, real Aussie girl that I just was like, oh, I wish that I was in that series with you because I thought we'd be, you know, good friends. And that was my reason for, after having 3 years of not applying, I then reapplied, and I got to finally get into the show. But I think, Reggie, you also have the same experience. You applied for the series 2, and then you didn't get into the one after. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, when I applied for Series 2, I remember when they flew me to Melbourne for the audition, and when I got there and I'm in the room and I'm like, oh, these people are just wankers, absolute wankers. And I also had a real bad bloody migraine on that day. And they halfway through the day they cut it down in half stayed, half went home, and they sent me home. And then I reapplied for the next year. In the audition process, I remember when I was about to leave the audition and they go, oh, we didn't get your passport. We need your passport to photocopy it. And I thought, oh, okay. And then they also asked me why, they go, we remember you from last year. And they said, what was wrong with you? You weren't how you were in your video. And I said, oh, I had a shit migraine and I didn't want to be there. So, and they go, oh, you should have told us because we really wanted you. We had you picked out, like they go, we really wanted you, and then that happened, and so I don't.
Yeah, but it worked out because you ended up winning the money, so it worked out pretty well.
Yeah, and I heard also, like, when they did pick me, they had me on a board. Like, they have photos of who would work with who, and mine was the main centre, and they worked all the other characters around me. So, yeah, which was very humbling to find out, actually.
That's really
So it was
interesting.
awesome
So
from
they
the
were
start.
picking character types to go against you, Reggie.
Yeah, yeah.
Not necessarily against.
You think?
Let's be clear.
Well,
Yeah,
How evil do you think everyone is?
she's Tasmanian.
Bree, you know the television industry. I think I used the right phrasing.
I agree.
No, I actually don't think you did, because if you had an entire cast full of people that were against someone,
No, 100%.
it'd be horrible. It'd be unwatchable.
I agree.
I have to say that there was a person that was in my series, though, that I clashed with. And then when the show was over, I kept trying to be her friend. And I would ring her. She would return my calls. I'd Facebook her. And I didn't particularly get along with her that well on the show. But I'm a people pleaser. I just wanted to be her friend. And it took the producer, Alex Mavrodikis, to ring me and say, Ben, we cast the two of you to not get along. You two do not work well together at all. So leave her alone. And I was like, all right.
Yeah, why would you
Stop
bother?
stalking.
Order's ready. Yeah.
We've all got those people from our series that don't answer the calls anymore.
When was the last time you and Trevor spoke, Bree?
The last
When did
interview
this
we
start?
did.
When did these podcasts start?
Yeah, fair enough.
Do you
Fair enough.
I
Well-
remember in mine, you think that you're going to be best friends forever with everyone,
Yeah.
and it just doesn't happen.
It's interesting.
I've still got
because
quite
you
a
have
few
this
friends,
intense
actually.
experience, don't you, Reg? And you have this intense experience, and then they're just out of your lives, and some of them just want to move on. So is that what you felt or found?
Yeah, but there are a lot of us connected through Facebook, which is a good thing. But yeah, after coming out of the show, I was just thought, oh, we're just going to be the best friends forever, and everyone went their own way. So yeah,
You
me.
talk to Crystal and Pat, though, don't you?
What's that?
Me, yeah, I still see a fair few people quite regularly, actually. Pretty much everyone except you, Trev. No, joking. But I'm jaded about the $1 million stuff. No, look, I think a lot of it comes down to as well how people feel about their experience. Like, I think some people come out and are angry at the world because they had no self-awareness and didn't realise that the entire country would hate them. Or, if they perhaps didn't get as far into the process as they thought, or, I think they can be a bit jaded and cut contact and not want anything to do with anyone. Or there's people that just kind of see it for what it is and love the experience. Like, I still see Fitzy, I still see Catherine, Crystal, Ashley, Paul when I can. There's a fair few that I keep in contact with. And just good time in our lives.
Fair enough. Look, we have to talk about the new housemates, and there's a lot to discuss. There's been a lot of information come out this week. So what we're going to do is take a quick break, and then we're talking about Big Brother, the cast of 2020. We'll be right back on the Ben, Rob and Robbo Show.
Ben, Rob and Robbo.
Streaming across the globe, Ben Norris, Rob McKnight, and David Robinson.
Ben, Rob and Robbo. News, reviews, entertainment news. It's the Ben, Rob and Robbo. Ben, Rob and Robbo Show. Ben, Rob and Robbo Show.
The Ben, Rob and Robbo Show, Monday to Thursday at 1 p.m, right here on Ticker TV.
Yes, you can catch the Ben, Rob and Robbo Show every Monday to Thursday at 1 p.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time. If you can't catch it on Ticker TV, you can catch it on our Facebook page at facebook.com/BRR Show or on Twitter at twitter.com/BRR Show. There's been a lot of Big Brother news this week as 3 new housemates were officially released by Channel 7. First up, let's meet Chad.
Robbo.
I'm Chad. I'm 27. I've been in Vogue, GQ, Superdry.
My God, you give a lot of options.
Model by career, tradie by heart. I've been on the roof for 7 years now.
How's the modelling going anyway?
Just came back from LA.
Should probably give up this. Don't want to ruin that pretty face.
Hello, Chad.
I gotta be me.
I am Big Brother, and I've chosen you. Welcome to my brand new house.
I think I'll be able to adapt to most personalities in the Big Brother house. Weave my way in there, seeing what's going on.
Good looks won't help you win my game.
You gonna fall in love like you do all the time, or what?
Nah, not this time.
I am Big Brother. Who wins? You decide.
Sorry, do you know with 6 people how many mics there are to turn on and off each time? So, it's Chad. Before we get to the controversy of the week, Amber, what are your first impressions of Chad? Bree.
Who's Amber?
Amber,
Do you know how people say
let
that
me
all
just
the
tell
time?
you, someone's going to have a go at me about that big time. I'm going to cop so much social media
Amber.
storm because do you know what I did? You know what I did last week? I called Mike Goldman Mike Goodman. So,
Yeah, no, it was hilarious.
I'm two for two. What can I tell you?
You'll start
Hey.
calling Ray Amber from now on.
What are
Sorry,
your
what was
first
the question?
impressions?
What was the question, John? Right. Okay. First impressions of Chad. Look, I think he's pretty offensive on the eye, obviously. No, he seems very attractive. He seems
Is that
well
about
built.
it, is
Let's
it?
hope he's got some sort of depth. Look, to be honest, I'm totally distracted by the creepy music that they run with those character profiles.
Yeah.
But no, he seems great. I don't think it gave too much away about his personality. More just kind of his career.
And while we were talking about the promo, what do you think of the new Big Brother voice?
Speaking of creepy, look, it's very different.
God, you're a diplomat. I actually like it. I actually like it as a different way. They're trying to do something different with this series. So I actually don't mind it personally, but it's had a lot of negative feedback for sure. Trevor, is Chad a likable guy?
I'm not too sure. Like Bree said, he's very good looking, and you've got that whole picture first, but you just don't know what he's going to be like in there. I don't know. I don't value his chances, but I do value his chances with some of the younger girls and guys that'll sit there and go, hi, he'd be really good in a magazine somewhere.
Yes. Robbo, you have been very critical of the housemates we've seen so far. Has Chad changed your mind at all?
No, not at all. He's like this. He's his straight tradie. He's a bit of a knockabout, and he's white, and he's just here to have a good time, and he gets along with all different types of people in the house. I bet he gets along with all different types of people in the house, judging by the photos we've seen, which we'll talk about in a moment. But Trevor, I'm going to ask you: are you seeing any kind of depth here in the housemates we've seen so far? Aren't they all just carbon copies of each other?
There are a lot of similarities with the guys that are coming in. I haven't seen anybody unique as yet, so I'm just more interested in seeing how they gel together. I want to see those fireworks go, how it goes.
Do you think that that's where it's going to happen? So we're obviously seeing some pretty generic people, but do you think that deep in their questionnaire, that's where they've cast them, and this guy's a narcissist, this guy's a misogynist? Do you think that's where we'll see those kind of changes, or those kind of that kind of?
You'll definitely see it, because when me and Bree and all the other guys entered the house, it was all nice and quiet. We all just sat there and just got to know each other, and then we sort of, in the days that kept going, you kind of figure out who's going to be the alpha male, who's going to be the.
Then it went.
Yeah, you just know, and then it just went off. But you just got to find out. Once they all get together, it'll be nice, and then it all depends on how they've structured the show, and then that's
Bree,
like Bree said.
Bree, I've got to ask you a question. You've obviously been through the show, Bree, as Trevor and Ben and Reggie. I've got to ask you all a question. if you're trying to promote a show, especially a remake in a very different kind of style, are they playing this in the wrong way, the producers of Big Brother, by just showing how generic they are at this moment, as opposed to, show us that he's a misogynist, show us that, she's a racist, show us that. Have they made the wrong call here, do you think?
I mean, you've got to have something to reveal, I guess. If you show everything about every person, then the first episode's going to be really boring, isn't it?
Sure.
Sure. So, no, I don't think so. To be honest, I'm not across every single promo. But I guess, is it the fact that they're keeping things to reveal the first night, the first week, or is it the fact that these people haven't revealed as much about themselves and that will come out? Because it is impossible on Big Brother to hide who you are. That's one thing I will say. I think you can do it for a few days and then I think it just comes spilling out.
Fair enough.
Okay, of course, there's been a bit of controversy around Chad after our very own Ben, Rob and Robbo, so I can't even get the name of our own show correct, uncovered some pictures from his former career. Let's have a look at these pictures now. Look, some have called them tasteful nudes, but there are some where not only is he holding his penis, he's holding his erect penis. They do skew into that world of pornography. Channel 7 have tried to play down the photos, saying he was just 20, he did some tasteful nudes. The fact is, and there's the one where he's grabbing his member.
There's one for my wallet.
Yeah, who wants to play Xbox?
He's in that photo. Let's just say he's holding on for dear life.
Maybe he's resuscitating it. I don't know.
It can't be that big. Your logo isn't that big.
Sorry, what was that, Reggie?
I said it doesn't look that big because your logo is not that big.
No. And he did have an erection, but yes, the logo's not that big. That's all I'll say.
I mean, let's be real. Like, it's pornography.
Thank you. Yeah. Thank you, Brie, because I've copped some feedback saying, they're just nudes. Everybody sends nudes. You know what? This doesn't bother me in the slightest, but let's be honest. You guys have all been through the vetting process of Big Brother. If Channel 7 or Endemol Shine had known about these photos, there is no way this guy would be on the show. Would you agree with that, Brie?
No, not necessarily.
Really?
I mean, are people not going to watch the show because some guy did nudes? I don't think so.
But they're more
is
than
it
nudes.
that big a deal?
They're more than nudes.
Yeah,
you said
but
it yourself, it is
I don't know. I feel like we've progressed since the days where that would have been a big deal. I just feel like if you look at every show that's on television, I feel like there's dirty little secrets that come out everywhere now, and I just don't think people care as much.
Absolutely, and I've got to be honest, I don't have a problem with it. The guy didn't do anything illegal. He did what he did to earn a few bucks. Happy days. But I can tell you, Endemol Shine and 7 did not know about this. They had no idea, and which is very weird because his real name is attached to these photos. So it wasn't like he was going by Chad Thunder or something like that.
That's a good name.
So that's the worst.
Somebody really dropped the ball on the Google search, didn't they?
Yeah, vetting process. Let's just say they didn't quite.
But you know what? This person has made some money, quite a few years ago. He's done some nudes. Look, whose dick's not on the internet these days? Look, it's quite a common thing.
You said
People
this, but not everyone's dick is. And you said yours isn't.
Mine isn't.
Well, look, Brie isn't. She's got a massive one.
I believe that. But I would say at the end of the day, sex and sexuality is a huge part of society. And should we hold this against this man because he sent nudes out to different people? I completely understand that Channel 7 probably wouldn't have put him into the show because, they are the Roast Chook family network and that's the audience that they're trying to pitch up against. But look, the truth is, he sent these photos out and that's probably not going to take away from the type of housemate that he is. So whilst there's been rumours out there this week that he'll be edited out of the show because he's a porn star, I still think that's a little bit of an overthought.
I certainly
he's a real person.
Hang on a second. But isn't it a bit hypocritical that we or people are sitting back going, oh my God, this guy did nudes. He should
No, we're
not
not
be
doing
allowed
that.
to be on this show. But then we're going to put him on a show where he has to go nude on television.
And there used to be an uncut version of Big Brother. And we all used to watch everyone that went naked on the show. We got to see in a 9:30 session of the show. So yeah, I 100% agree with you.
Did that.
Did you
know
not?
everyone? No, not my sister. Me and my sister were walking in Harvey Norman, and someone yelled, "Tassie does him have a Tassie."
So you did.
Was that all about? Yeah.
And everyone else yelled out, "We've already seen it."
Yeah. No, I didn't know they did uncut.
Oh yeah.
No.
Are we that surprised?
I'm sure they would have legally had to tell you that at some point.
No.
Are we that surprised though? Sorry, Reggie. Sorry, are we that surprised though that contestants on Big Brother are exhibitionists? Is this such a shock to everyone?
Totally.
That possibly, people who want to go on Big Brother are exhibitionists. They want to be seen. They want to be heard. How is this a big deal? Also, secondly, as well, what if Channel 7 wanted this to be discovered a little later on?
No, they didn't.
Rob,
know,
you reckon
Robbo.
that they didn't know?
They didn't know.
I reckon they did.
There's things I know.
I reckon they did too.
They did. When this story was coming out,
Tell
I
us your
contacted-
sources, Rob.
Let me be very clear. There are conversations that go on. I am telling you, Channel 7 did not know. That's all I can tell
Prove
you.
it.
Oh, wow. I like it.
There's always a scandal with Big Brother. It wouldn't be Big Brother without a scandal.
Yeah, and look, as I say, I've got no problem with this. I want the guy to stay in there. He actually, as we've all said, this actually makes him seem like he's actually got some history, something to talk about. So happy days. I'm fine with it. I just think the problem is it wasn't vetted properly, and it has come back to haunt the producers, and that's just a fact. You know, like Anne Brie, they did not know.
It's going to haunt me now too after seeing that photo.
I just want to say, because Chad's probably watching this right now, you've got a lovely penis. Thank you for showing us. Good luck with your time on the show. Maybe wear a few, bit more clothing, but it's not going to ruin your life. And I hope you get to enjoy your Big Brother experience. Not everyone's penis is as big as yours, so they're probably just jealous. And we're all probably just jealous. So
Do you know,
good
this
luck.
is so creepy as you sit there holding
With
a
a
red
wine.
wine in your hand. Hey, Chad, don't worry. You've got a lovely penis.
nice penis.
Little creepy. Hey, in a moment, we are going to ask Bree and Trevor, Reggie and Ben, the questions you've got coming through to us on our Facebook page and wherever else we can find them. In the meantime, let's meet housemate number 2.
I have been watching you.
Whether I'm right
I was an elite athlete at the age of 13, training for the Olympics in London.
or whether I'm wrong.
2 months before departure, I fractured my back. It was all over. I was out of the sport overnight. When I stopped training, I felt empty. Gymnastics was my whole life.
Hello, Sophie.
I gotta be me.
I am Big Brother, and I've chosen you. Welcome to my brand new house.
Growing up, I always had 2 dreams. One was my gymnastics career, and the other one was getting on Big Brother.
The Olympics tests your body. My game is so much more.
I gotta be me.
There is only space for one winner on my podium.
I'm going in there to win, and failing is just not an option.
What will you do to eliminate the others from my house?
Big Brother is a strategic game. I think using my looks will be one of my strategies.
Good looks won't help you win my game.
No hair dryers.
Oh, really?
Nope.
Hey, look, sorry. I know we're going to do feedback later, but I just want to bring this one from the Talking Viewmaster. An erect penis? They had that trouble getting that past the movie censorship board too. It seems stiffies scare people. I like that. I don't know. Maybe stiffies do
They
scare
scare me.
people. Guys, what do we think of Sophie? Trevor, I'll start with you.
Well, that's the first time I've seen her, so I don't know. I reckon she might do all right. They seem to be picking a lot of people with a sporting background or very strong-willed, so I'm thinking it's the the tasks or whatever they've got planned from inside, it's going to take a lot of willpower and a lot of strength to get through them. It's going to be good.
Well, Ben, you can actually talk to that, can't you? Because the challenges this year are very physical.
Yeah, exactly right. From what I've been told, the challenges are a little bit different to Survivor, which are usually more strenuous. The actual challenges for this year are both what's the word for it? It's they're both challenging for the mind as they are for this. Mentally challenged. Thank you, Bree. So I told you we'd get along. You could be the other half of my brain. But from what I've been told, the challenges are very strenuous, both physically and mentally. So they are going to be very different to just your stock standard, Survivor challenges. But also, they're so imperative that they win these challenges because these challenges determine who gets nominated, which then also dictates who will get evicted. 20 housemates, 20 episodes, 20 evictions. This is going to be like a bloodbath. So it's all going to happen very quickly. So from what I've been told, we're pretty much going to get someone evicted at episode 1, which means that someone's not even going to sleep there.
Reggie.
Everyone's worst nightmare.
Reggie, Sophie seems nice, doesn't she? I mean, a former Olympic gymnast. She also won... What was the prize she won, Ben? Can you remind me? It was Miss Supercars or something like that at the Gold Coast Grand Prix or something like that. So she wasn't a good girl, though. She won some lovely event.
She didn't make it then.
But Reggie,
can I just quickly jump into this to her defense? Is that I actually think she's one of my favorites so far. I think that she seems quite real. Like, we've seen people who are probably have had more of a profile, like an ex-AFL footballer, etc. Just because she nearly made it into the Olympics doesn't mean she's had a media career, as far as I'm concerned. And I think that she looks like she seems like a good Aussie chick. Like, I'd have a drink with her.
I think I actually said she looks seems pretty nice at the top of that before I mentioned. I wasn't mentioning the race car thing as a negative. It's just part of who she is. But
you were saying she's a slut.
What? Okay, we're throwing bombs. All right, is that how it is?
It looks like it.
Reggie, what do you think?
She can leave. Far out. I was about to swear then.
Oh, damn it! I was so close. Come on.
Her looks might get her a little way, but it's not going to get her all the way, and I don't think she's going to win. It's like when Joe in My Big Brother, Joe, who was the Ralph model, and she had 3 guys in a little love triangle all wrapped around her finger. She told Patrick that she liked him, and Saxon and Vincent, and so I reckon this girl's going to do that kind of thing to
you
get
think she's
through.
going to play the game, Reggie?
Yeah.
Oh wow!
But at the end of the day, you've got to have a good personality, I think, and her looks aren't going to let her win at all.
Reggie, I wanted to ask you something about that. Obviously, we're all obsessed with what people look like, with bloody influencers, which I know you don't like.
Stand them.
Can't stand them.
I'm with you, Robbo.
Yeah, I can't stand them. But in this day and age, though, we're always talking about these influencers who look the best and eating the best and, sailboarding, what the friggin' hell it's called. I was about to do a Reggie there.
Damn it.
That was bloody close. But do you think personality will still prevail in this series in 2020 at this time of our lives? Do you still think that personality will be better than what the looks are?
Yep, definitely. It's like Survivor. Like I loved Survivor, and I loved David. I mean, he had a nice body, but his
I think you need a red wine now.
His personality, he was the villain and all that kind of stuff, but looks just it won't get you through. It won't. His personality, I think, will get you through.
All right. I think we should meet our next housemate, because Channel 7 is dropping housemates left, right and centre. And if this one looks familiar, well, she should, because we revealed her on the TV Black Box website, I think it was about a month ago. Let's meet Zoe.
Hello, Zoe.
Here we go.
I have been watching you.
We're at school. I'm a mum of 2.
If you haven't had things under your nail and like wondered if it's Nutella or poo, then you're not a mum. Kids have changed my life. People will never pick that I am a woodwork teacher. They always picture this butch bloke. I am hands down the coolest teacher in the school. You can ask any of the kids.
I am Big Brother, and I have chosen you. Welcome to my brand new house. As a teacher and a mum, you'd be used to taking charge. But in here, it's me who's in charge.
I can hold my own, I can stand my ground.
So you think you can go to the top of this class and be the last one standing?
I'm about as subtle as a brick in the face.
Well, let's see if you're ready for what I have planned. I am Big Brother. Who wins? You decide.
Bree, has Zoe got you in, the mummy blogger?
Oh, is she a blogger? Is she? Yeah, I almost feel like her face doesn't match the personality. Like I feel like she comes across quite sweet and likable, but I think she'll definitely have edge and maybe turn. My experience is teachers really like to boss people around.
What about
Don't you think? They boss you like your parent.
That's true. Trevor, what do you think
What's
of Zoe?
Yeah, I'm with Bree. She seems like she'll rock the boat a bit. Like she on the promo there, she seems really nice and you know all that mummy stuff, which is very important. But yeah, I reckon she'll go in there, rock the boat, and yeah, she'll make a bit of a ruckus.
Ben, what else do we know about Zoe?
Well, we know that she's a mummy blogger and she's already been on radio, you know, in regional parts of Australia. So she's already, you know, has some experience with the media. I think that she's from Melbourne. She seems like she's a sweet kind of girl. I think from what I've seen so far, I don't necessarily know how far she would necessarily go in this show. I think this show is going to be highly competitive and quite brutal. And I think from what I can see, she seems like the Sandra Bullock sweet girl next door. So I just don't necessarily know how she's going to go, you know, with the manipulation of this series of getting towards the end, being that it's so challenge-based.
Interesting. Robbo, does Zoe do anything for you?
You know, weirdly, when I first found out, nothing against mummy bloggers, you know, can't love them.
Sure you do.
I'm just when I first found out that's what she was, I was like, oh, okay. But there's these little moments, aren't there? The little nuggets there, if I can use that term, where there's a little bit of depth there. The first couple of housemates we've seen have been just generic. I liked the poo Nutella analogy. I thought that was fantastic. I liked that she's, you know, not just a mummy blogger, but she's in the woodwork shop. I actually really like it, which is, I've got to put to everyone here, I guess, why would Seven put out the blandest of bland people at the beginning, and then is it to, do you think it's to build kind of excitement to it? Because if I'd just seen one promo at the beginning of this promo run of the first couple of contestants, I would have gone, no, I've got no interest. I would have much rather have seen someone like this at the beginning going, oh, you know, she's great, she's got Nutella or poop underneath her nails, I want to watch her. Your thoughts?
Well, I think the problem is that producers stuck in a TV bubble lose sight of what the public wants sometimes. And yeah, I agree. Zoe is the most real contestant we've seen so far. We know that there are more that will actually, we believe, in the list that Ben has got, we believe there are contestants that will appeal more to the general public.
100%.
It is interesting that they've gone with these generic stereotypes. It's really disappointing because I actually think that when we see the series, we're actually in for a bit of a delight, and the fact that the contestants will be better than what is being depicted at the moment. Bree, you've seen you've seen the latest three tonight, and you might have seen some others in the lead up. What do you make of the overall pool of contestants?
I mean, to be honest, I haven't seen them all, but I think that there's a theme to the promos more than a theme to the contestants, if that makes sense. Like, for me, it looks like they're just giving little tastes at the moment and not giving too much away. And I would assume that that's a conscious decision. Whether that comes across bland to you, I don't know. But there definitely seems to be a failed athlete theme. That's interesting, I guess. Yeah, just get them all in there. And then someone from Broken Hill, Trevor.
Yeah, there we go. And a black person.
Yeah, and maybe they are building to something. Oh. I mean, promos generally ramp up in the week or two prior to a show starting. So it'll be interesting to see if all of a sudden they're like, ta-da, this is the most interesting person we've ever seen. Or if the promos change a bit more detailed and a bit more in depth, I guess.
Ben, what do you think?
Because they're short.
I think that something we need to just be really careful about is that with Big Brother, Big Brother's not about the winner. It's not about the big character that stands out. Big Brother only works when the relationship and dynamics of all the housemates interact together. So far we've only seen them separately, which I think is a very harsh reality of a Big Brother housemate, because realistically, the relationships and the dynamics is what people tune in for. I think that on paper, these people seem okay, but I think it's all going to come down to how they tell a story within the show. Can we fall in love with them? Do they have a romance? You know, do we think with Reggie, you know, we don't want her to go back to the fish and chip shop because we want her to be our best mate. You know, like it all comes down to the real essence of true Australians and how we interact with each other. That's just what I think. So that hasn't happened yet.
And then like I said before as well, like if they reveal everything about them now, there's nothing, like they're out of content for the first couple of days, because that's all, when there's a lot of people in there, you only kind of find out, you know, things are revealed slowly. So yeah, I just feel like you just don't want to give everything away.
It also works the other way, where someone once said to me, Big Brother housemates are like hair. Once they drop off the head, everyone's allergic to them. And that is that Big Brother housemates are amazing on the show, and that's because the dynamics that they have and the relationships they have. When they leave the show and they try and form a career by themselves, we've already lost the magic of them. You know, the things that we loved about them is the relatability, that small moment that we captured or we saw them, you know, in the show that we loved. You know, that's the way we connect to them. It's not their media careers or their standalone bullshit, you know.
Before fame goes to their head and ruins it all.
100%. 100%.
Before we wrap up, William has sent in a note saying, on the application form 2020, we were asked to have we been involved in any scandals or pornography. Channel 7 would have known. Well, not if he lied.
He could have lied.
Yeah. And all I can say is, judging by the reaction I got, I don't think they know. I don't think they knew. Maybe they did. It's not my takeaway that they did. That's all I'll say. From what I've heard, there was a lot of scrambling at Endemol Shine after I first contacted Channel 7, and they started vetting everybody.
Oh, wow.
Doing what? They did what?
Started vetting everybody. So
I took him to the vet, Reg.
Animal hospital.
So Endemol Shine, the production company, once they found out what we knew about Chad, they started going into panic mode and going through every contestant that appears in this series of the show.
Well, I'm yet to be impressed by anyone. I think the last one should stick to her 4x2s, you know.
You're breaking people's hearts, Reggie. You're breaking people's hearts. People watch this.
Tough critic.
They're like the most iconic Big Brother housemate of all time. Exactly. They're like, who is the most iconic Big Brother housemates? Probably you and Sarah Marie. There's these people's dreams that they want to get onto this show, and then you're like, bloody hell, I don't like any of them.
It's so boring.
Yeah, no.
I just have to say,
I'm
sorry.
saying how it is.
People
I think
right
me and
now
Robbo are more on the
are asking
same
if this is live, and it is.
Oh.
So Beck and everyone, yes, it is live, and I'm just trying to pull up all the comments because, of course, I pull up Facebook's not
because you're
letting me have the
awesome. You know
comments.
what you're doing.
I have no
I wouldn't go that far,
idea. The feedback we usually have isn't
Don't give Reggie
working.
another
It's all
beer.
been a disaster. I can't turn on microphones. All right. So we'll wrap up this
Call Bree
edition of I Am
Amber.
Big Brother on that note where Reggie basically shit cans all the contestants.
Just before we let them go, Rob, there has been a few quick questions from people who are writing along with us. Bree, can you give us a quick, what was your favourite Big Brother moment in the history of, in your season of Big Brother for you?
funny because I think they're about to recycle this, judging by the promos. But for me, it was waking up and having the entire backyard full of snow.
Oh, wow.
It was just so weird going to sleep one morning and waking up and it was literally full of snow for 3 days or something before it melted in Gold Coast heat. But I'd never seen snow at that point in my life. So waking up and going and having snowball fights and all that sort of stuff, it was really cool.
Another quick question for you, Brie, is this one's, everyone's obsessed with you clearly. How do you look exactly the same as you did in 2004? What are your beauty secrets?
Oh my God, I so don't. I was literally looking at that flash that you showed before thinking, I wish the Botox places would open. I don't, but thank you. That's very sweet.
Trevor, what was your most iconic Big Brother moment for you in your series?
Fitzy breaking his nose.
That was good.
Seeing my first day comment with Brie, that was really cool. I like the we had a really good task.
A comment?
Don't worry, it's a personal joke. We did a task where we dressed up as bride and groom, and I really enjoyed that.
Oh yeah, that was fun. That was so fun.
We had a bucks night, and the girls had a hens night, and it was. All I can remember is all the guys having too much to drink and then beating the crap out of each other on the grass and the Olympics. Everything was my favourite. I was just happy that Bree, Fitzy and Elle were in my year because they kept my mind off of what I was missing on the outside. So it was good.
Oh, wow.
And Reggie, just a quick one for you is, do you think that this Big Brother just seems like Survivor in a warehouse, or do you think it seems like the Big Brother that you know? Which does it seem like? More like Survivor or more?
Yeah, by the sounds of it, it doesn't seem like Big Brother at all. It definitely doesn't sound like how it was back in my time at all. It's totally different.
And can I just say, though, that I think that's okay. And I think that people need to go into it with an open mind watching this, because I think that the diehard fans may kind of reject the new format a bit. And I think that people need to keep in mind that if we brought back the exact same old one, people would also reject that and be like, oh, that's so done and old and, you know, 20-year-old format. So, you know, let's just hope there's the bits and pieces that we still love about the show, but with some new, fresh stuff that's going to be exciting to watch.
Fabulous.
It's a new audience too.
A nice note to end on. Bree and Trevor, thank you very much for being our special guests tonight. We really do appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right. Thanks for having us.
Thank you.
Anytime. And that brings us to the end of Eye on Big Brother. We will be back again next Thursday night at 8 p.m. In your social media feeds. And don't forget, you can catch the podcast, Eye on Big Brother, through your favourite podcast feed. In the meantime, the Ben, Robbo Show will be back at Monday at 1 p.m. on Ticker TV and your favourite social media feed, being TV, Black Box or BRR Show. Hope you've got all that, because I can't remember a thing I've just said. All right, we'll see you. And Reggie.
I'm looking for your bloody beer.
I knew you were. I saw you get out of that chair. I'm bringing one in. We're 30 seconds away, Reggie. I'll bring you a beer. All right, that is the Ben, Rob and Robbo Show. Eye on Big Brother. We will see you next week. Bye-bye.
There, guys.
It's the Ben, Rob and Robbo, Ben, Rob and Robbo Show. Ben, Rob and Robbo Show.